Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stephen Dunbar-Johnson, and as President International of the New York Times Company, it's my great honor to welcome you to this year's Energy for Tomorrow conference and to this wonderful autumnal setting we have here in the center of Paris. It was actually about 12 months ago when we last convened here in Paris against the backdrop of the historic gatherings of world leaders negotiating and finalizing the momentous Paris Agreement. Now that the world's governments have established the thresholds for the agreement to come into full legal force, the complex elements of implementation and execution now come to the fore. Elements which will ultimately determine the value and success of this all-important treaty. Climate change, its causes and effects on our world, our economies, and our everyday lives casts a long shadow technologically, politically, and commercially. We know it's an important and urgent issue for our global readership at the New York Times, and we are intent on expanding and deepening our coverage of this vital topic. From the impact of climate change on the very foundations of the food chain, to reporting on the impact and implications of the desertification of large parts of northern China, from scrutinizing the climate change policies voiced by the US presidential candidates, or rather the lack of policies in the case of one of the candidates, to profiling everyday pioneers like climate scientists Katharine Hayhoe. We have made it our mission to report without fear or favor on this critical subject and its impact on all humanity. This is not only epitomized in our live journalism through events just like this one here, but through our feature coverage in our opinion pages and in our climate change blog, .earth. Now, Energy for Tomorrow, which was started 7 years ago, has explored the practical solutions for tomorrow's energy challenges. Over the next 2 days, you will join us on a journey with nearly 60 influential executives and policymakers. In the most bitter and divisive US presidential election campaign in a generation, actually, I think ever, the striking absence of climate change in the debate makes it imperative for news organizations like ours to consistently and persistently raise awareness of the issue, to highlight their consequences, and to inspire action. As I said, this is the 7th edition of this conference, and since its inception, Energy to examine the solutions, the ideas that have been generated in this event, I think have been terrific, and we've seen it grow and really take on a life of its own. And these are ideas and business models needed to succeed in the low-carbon, climate-resilient economy. So you're going to be guided by our distinguished award-winning Time journalists who, through on-stage interviews and debate, will uncover the opportunities to give you the knowledge and insight you need to help power your business in this changing world. So we are thrilled to be back in Paris to convene this event. And indeed, it's fitting that we're right here to discuss the future of the agreement that was so tirelessly championed and brought over the line by its French hosts last year. And we're particularly honored that the president of COP21, French Minister of the Environment, Energy and Sea, Minister Ségolène Royal, as well as France's Ambassador for Climate Change Negotiations, Laurence Tubiana, have joined us before they head to Marrakesh. I would like to extend our sincere thanks to all of our generous sponsors, Renault-Nissan. And by the way, Renault-Nissan have a fleet of their Leaf electric cars outside for you to test, so please do. I would also like to thank Total, Maersk, Rentaport, Astana 2017. Thank you very much, Astana gentlemen over there. DNVGL, Moët Hennessy, DEME, and the Climate and Clean Air Coalition. And with very special thanks to our principal sponsor, Acciona, who have been with us every year since we launched this conference. The success of this event is as much down to our sponsor support as it is to the high-quality, thought-provoking debate and networking that take place in this conference room and the corridors of this venue. So we have a fantastic agenda in store, And it's now my very great pleasure to honor to introduce our first keynote speaker, Minister Ségolène Royal. As Minister of Environment, Energy and the Sea, as well as President of COP21, the Minister played an important role in bringing all of the key stakeholders together. In fact, I say she played the vital role. She has devoted her career to serving France, having managed ministry portfolios for family affairs, childhood and disability, as well as school education, before becoming the first woman in France to be nominated as a presidential candidate by a major party. So we're very honored that she's joining us at this conference to share her thoughts on where things stand on the eve of COP22 in Marrakesh.